do I people? And that's what more so came up. So I thought it was really interesting because as I've been, looking at some of the newer clients I've taken on and some of the newer things that I've been doing where uh, the actual businesses that I work with, sometimes we're really, really new and we're coming into a space of business. And guys, if you think about it, 2026, we're going to have a whole new influx of new business owners. I looked at the data. Um, can't deny the data. So when I see how business owners, I looked at the data. Um, can't deny the data. So when I see how many people for 2026 as a business coach, as a marketing strategist, I already know there's going to be an influx of market demands, right? Because people have lots of questions. People are going to need direction. They're going to need to know like how to maneuver in this thing. And so the reason why I think I'm having, these kind of conversations is because a lot of the business owners that are starting off, they're really just trying to quickly get to the sell, more so build on what they already have, which is the business model themselves. And once that's mastered, then it becomes masterful. And I'll tell you real quick too why. For example, the law of averages is one of the things I use in my business and with my clients. It helps me not get emotional around the sale. So when I show up where I know, number one, why I'm showing up. That keeps my energy high. So when I actually wake up in the morning and I go about my day to do what I do in business, it's already hard enough to do what we do. So you have to be able to curate a personal development process for yourself. For me, it's a routine where, as the owner of this business or the person in the business and on the business, that I can actually have good physical energy. Eating food when I'm supposed to eat food. Like there's so many different things to the physical part that we could kind of cover. But I want you guys to look at that, right? Because we're not going to cover all that. I just want you guys to get ready for the new year because number one, we're in December. We're getting ready for so much, but we're dealing with so much, right? There's overwhelm in our households. We have a lot going on where we're trying to figure it out, and then on top of that, we have a lot of pressure, right, from the environment that we live in. So I want us to really be very vigilant about how you move because there are going to be a lot of winners in 2026. Business owners that show up and they actually develop a method of boundaries, creating a safe space for their physical selves to eat the right things, to drink water every day, to be able to know how to take care of your health by eating the foods that are for your health and not just to wait until you get unhealthy to go to the doctor. Those are things unknowingly in business that actually keeps your energy low. And I thought it was interesting how I'm having conversations with clients, and this is why I'm going back to school to get my PSYD because there's a mental health thing going on, right? And I'm like, I don't understand it. Because if you know that you have to show up for your business every day, talk to clients that you've never met before or potential clients and customers, give them information and guide them before they even pay you money, then you know you got to have the right energy. But a lot of times, what we do is we kind of map out what we think it should be and we pace ourselves based on how we feel, right? And then by the end of the day, when we get to those clients, we're like, oh, I already had a bad day. I don't need your no. I don't need, right? That first no in sales, you're gonna have to get. When I start my day, if my energy is right physically, I know I could take on that first, second, third, fourth, fifth no. Now I may have to have a nap after that fifth one. Okay. I may have to lay down. And it may not be a nap. It may actually be a nervous system reboot. Sometimes you don't even need a nap. Sometimes you need a nervous system reboot. You need to just actually sit the heck on down, not worry about what other people are feeling and doing and what's going on around you all the time. Sometimes you just need to sit down and just regulate your nervous system. And I've actually started doing that instead of taking naps. 15, 30 minutes, someone told me before, well, that's not long enough. Okay, then do a system reboot because something in your day has to give you a pause. Even if you're in 9 to 5 job, right? Like they give you a lunch break. They give you like if you work a certain 9 to 5 jobs, they'll give you a lunch break and they'll give you an extra break, right? They'll give you a 15-minute break, a 30-minute break, and a 15-minute break. That's how it used to work. I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in a very long time, but I do know that Back in the day when I worked my 9 to 5s, listen, I got every single minute of my breaks. I left on time. And I think that sometimes we don't do that for ourselves in our business, right? Like we get into our business and we're like, let's go. And by the time you get to actually do anything, you're already tired. You're already tired. You're already tired of like, I had to deal with, getting breakfast in the morning for me and these people. I had to deal with, you know, dealing with something that I was stressed out from the night before. And now I'm continuously dealing with it now. And especially if it's relationships. I'm digging deeper into the fact that, and I think I have more headspace for this. So if y'all hear me speaking on these things, it's because these are real life situations that block your business. The business itself there's nothing wrong with your business. And I might have to actually infuse that into some of our conversations. There's nothing wrong with your business. Now, there may be something with how you're running it. There may be something about how you're showing up in it. It may be something about who you're putting in it to run it with you. But there's nothing wrong with the business itself, because whatever you put in place, if you work it, it will work. I think that we have to also lean more into the fact that we cannot do business by ourselves. So when I say low energy equals low sales, if you walk around and you look at your sales, like I look at my numbers every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I go, oh, I didn't look at my numbers today. No, I have to know, what did my energy bring me today? What did my energy bring me today? Did my energy bring me 0 sales? Okay, so what's going on? Because guys, you can easily make a phone call, right, to someone who was already interested in what you were doing and say, hey, I'm selling 10 of these things and I'm trying to get them out the door, right? Is this something that you want today? Is this a product that you need in your life right now? Most people, what they do is they spend all day scrolling and stimming and looking on social media, and then they go, oh god, I need to go ahead and post my social media so I can get my advertisements out there. And then by the end of the day, then I made 2 to 3 posts and may have gone live a couple of times maybe, and no sell. And then they go and do it again, and then they do it again, and they do it, and then by the week, end of the week, you don't get a sale, and you're constantly posting and doing things on social media. That means that something in your process doesn't include you getting the sale when you have the right energy. Because yeah, if you're actively doing stuff all day for your business, you're going to deplete your energy. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The goal is what you're doing in that time, because once your energy is depleted, you can go lay down and rest at night. But did you make a sale that day? Did you talk to enough people to make the sale? And it's not about talking to strangers, right? Because I get people all the time, they're like, eh. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this little eh. Like this, it's like people get weirded out when you start telling them that they have to do things that they're uncomfortable with. Like I remember a client telling me, hey, they don't want to make phone calls because they feel like that's bothering people. I was like, what are you talking about? Like if people want to buy from you and they already shown interest, why wouldn't you call them? Why wouldn't you pick up the freaking phone and say, "Hey, I saw that you submitted a interest for what I'm doing," right? Sometimes, guys, even though I have clients that I haven't talked to in a long time, like say they've been in my program, 90-day program, and I haven't talked to them in like 6 months, I will pick up a freaking phone. If someone has maybe gone into one of my challenges, and maybe the challenge was free, because it doesn't have to be always be a paid member, maybe the challenge was free, and they came into my challenge and I haven't heard from these people in months. Hey, pick up the phone. How are you doing? Do you need more support in your business? Because I promise you, the conversations that are happening when you pick up the phone, when you go to the place that you know the people that already are interested, that they want that from you, then you don't deplete your energy by spending all this time on social media all day. The time that you're spending on social media is just extra added value. Does that make sense? Extra added value. If everything that you do starts and ends with your Instagram feed. I'm sorry, because someone told me some crazy stuff, and I'm like, what? Marketing, guys, because I do want to express more of what I do to you guys. I want you guys to have a great understanding of what marketing actually means. someone told me today, and this is one of my clients that I've been coaching for a few months. He said, "What is a marketing funnel?" And I thought that was a great question because what I do in, and she wasn't in the particular program that I teach that in, but what I do in one of my programs, which is, based on foundational business and marketing, what we do is we structure and we visualize everything in your business. So one of the components that we teach is the marketing funnel. And guys, most people don't even know what a marketing funnel is because they're like, oh well, it's just a word, it's out there. But we physically show you. So when you actually hear a marketing funnel and you're like, okay, how do I apply that? It makes sense. And the truth is that your marketing is an accumulation of every channel that you have to put your products and services through to get to the audience that's already waiting for you. Marketing is not to market to people that are like, I don't want that. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that marketing is not telling people what you think they need? I'm sorry, y'all. It's not what they think they need. Marketing is when someone is saying already in the market and to themselves, I need this and I just don't know where to get it, or I need this and I'm getting it, but it's not working as well for me. Prime example, one of my clients makes this eczema cream, and she was talking about how, getting the eczema cream at the stores, and thank you, baby. The hubby is here. But the stores and the things that, all the creams out there, she said that she would go into the stores and she would buy the creams, put the creams on her body, and it would break her out even more. It never helped her eczema. And she was very frustrated. And so what she did was she just made her own skin cream. And it was all natural and it worked for her, right? It worked for her. So when she put her brand out there, she wasn't like, hey guys, y'all want some lotion? Like she didn't advertise lotion. She advertised skin cream for issues that involve your health. Eczema, rosacea, dry skin, like excessive dry skin. So yeah, so if I just want to have really nice smooth skin, I can have smooth skin, but those aren't the people that she's marketing to. She was marketing to people who are like, if I wake up another day and I got to deal with this skin all day today, I'm going to, oh, she's dealing with those people. She's dealing with people who, they can't fathom having another day where their kid has to walk around crying because their skin is raw, right? From scratching the eczema. Like, this is what she was doing. So when I say marketing is not just talking about what you do. Marketing is not just saying, hey, here's a product, you should buy it. That's not what marketing is. Marketing is actually knowing what you're producing in the market, right? So you got to know what the product is and if it's actually something that people want. And when you find out that enough people want that product, like, hey, there's over 100,000 people that have eczema in, North Carolina, something like that, right? So you're like, hey, I'm in North Carolina. I know there's 100,000 people here that have eczema. I know that they, live, work, and play in these areas. I'm going to go and I'm going to market my product in the areas that I see where these people are. Because when they walk in the store, when they talk to their friend around the corner that walked into the store, okay? When you go door to door and you start talking to them about your product and you put your flyers in their hand, when you go to the local stores in that area and you start talking to the business owners and you start telling them about your brand and possibly even consigning and putting your stuff in their stores locally so that when people shop in those stores, they can go ahead and pay you too. When you start putting that in your marketing funnel and stop focusing so much on what to post on social media, your energy will go up. Your sales will go up. And also knowing, remember what I said in the beginning, knowing those people are there. Do not go in a market where you're just like, I'm not sure who I'm talking to, but let me just talk. What are you wasting your energy on? Like, I promise you, there are people that have been following me for 5 years. I didn't even know it. I was sitting on TikTok one day, and guys, I don't go live here a lot, right? Clearly. But I was on TikTok and I was doing it like day to day to day. I was really having a good roll, right? And someone came into my DMs and was like, Allegra, You changed my life 5 years ago. How? I don't even know you. I don't know you. How did I change your life? Right? And the truth is because there are people that sit around and they listen and they watch. Those aren't the people I'm talking to right now. Now they may get their life changed, but I'm not talking to them right now. Now I am, but the people I'm talking to right now are people that are going to join my master class, right? We actually had how many do we have? Like 12 registrants for the last master class. We taught you guys how to actually get sponsorship where you're not just saying, "Oh, I don't have money because my clients aren't paying me." That you actually know that you can make money because you're talking to people who are in alignment with your mission. That's why we do business. We do business because it gives you what you say, David? Quality. It gives you a quality measure. It gives you an avenue where people can actually see that you're serious about what you're doing instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, I just started a business. Oh yeah, I put out a couple social media posts. Yeah, I sent a couple emails." But I promise you guys, if you're really serious about business and you want to start making money consistently, right? Because I'm constantly looking at how money is made in business, and business doesn't always bring you money at one time. Like I'm as my fiance, I will be we will be in a whole season, like a whole quarter of drought, and I'll be like, babe, I ain't made no money this quarter. Like I don't know what's going on, right? So what do when your sales are low? You just start going out there and promoting more. You start telling people, "Oh yeah, buy, 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 buy." That's what most people do. Most people, they get desperate, they jump on their social media, they start, posting, and then they eventually give up because the truth is that the truth is that it's not in the posting, it's not in the activity, it's in the intentionality of what you're doing, and knowing that there are certain seasons of business now, guys, that I'm paying attention to. That if I don't make all of my money in that season, my business may not be afloat for the rest of the year. Like that is a real thing. There are certain companies that if they don't make their money in that primary season, right, they're struggling and they're under the rest of the year. And so I want you guys to think about that, especially leading into this new year. I do have a master class that's listed in the bio. I want you guys to click on there. I'm not going to sit here and create a whole bunch of content for y'all just to create content. I want you guys to just be a part of everything that we're doing from my community, which I posted about that. If you guys are coming to the conference, please do so. We have one of our speakers, David, here. Amazing, right? And we are actually going live for you guys on other channels to make sure you get the feel of what it's going to look like to come to that conference next year. So grab those tickets because I think we're halfway sold out already. And also just making sure you guys follow my channel. Make sure that you get into the space where you want to learn about business. I'm actually looking at this place like a business hub. It's like a business hub. Because at the end of the day, what I encompass, I had no clue that other people weren't doing when I started it. I'm like, no, everybody does this. And they're like, no, they don't do that. They don't include the entire business. And I just feel like at the end of the day, if you guys come into this space, you're either going to leave with the right advice, knowledge, power to move forward, or have that coaching you need to move forward within my organization. And if I can't get that for you, then I have other people and resources that can. I'm a SCORE mentor. I'm also a mentor for Start Me for Emory University. So guys, I have connections, whatever you need, but you do have to get your energy up. Okay. So those tips, guys, if anything actually resonates with you, I want you to drop it in the comments and also DM me if you have any questions. David, thank you for coming up. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, of course, man. Listen, I love what you're doing. I'm gonna keep saying it until you get sick of it. No, I'm not sorry. So I really resonated with what you said, and I put quality over quantity, right? Because I used to, and I'm guilty of it, operating from a space of being on go. I felt like when I first got into business that the more you just produce, the more money you make, the more you just do, right? And somebody said something to me that was really simple but profound. They said it's not about the quantity of the books you release, but the quality of them. And I had the mindset of when I first got started, Okay, so within a year, I can release 10 books. But you know what the problem with that is? Your clients and your customers get overwhelmed. So if you release a new book every month, your customers, they may not say it, but energy wise, they'll say, wait a second. Wait, you just dropped a book last month. How did you have the energy or whatever it is to release a following book the next month? And then a month after that, and a month after that, and a month after that. So what I learned to do, and don't tell anybody, well, it's out there now. I'm already telling people. But what I learned to do, and I talk about having a book lineup, right? Like that, because my books are the foundation for everything else. That's what I call them. So I learned to have very much a book lineup. So I'll drop a book in February and then I'll see how it does. And if I see, based on the reviews and based on what people say online, if I see that there's, like you said, a need for another book, then I'll wait 6 months and then I'll drop the following book. So most times I already have an archive. People don't know that, but I already have an archive for my following book. So while I'm watching the market, while I'm watching reviews, while I'm watching where people tag me and all of that kind of stuff, I already have another book following that that's related to the first one, right? So example, um, the book you supported, what was it? Heavy as the Head, right? That was one of my beginning books. I'm cemented now, God willing, but that was one of my early books. So based on that book and what people said and however much they related to it is what encouraged me to do the follow-up book, which was blazing a trail for yourself, making your own luck, and that kind of stuff. But if nobody liked it and nobody reviewed it and nobody said, hey man, you know what? You were really honest in that book. I love what you said. If nobody said that, I wouldn't have the momentum to follow that up. Because I'm always thinking, okay, well, people liked my following book. Okay, how can I do better? What can I be better with? How can I one up myself? I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just always looking to one up myself. So I love what you said about quality over quantity. And I think that sometimes in business, we think that the more quantity we have, the more money we make. And sometimes it's, like you said, the small sales. A lot of us are looking for big sales, big commissions. Oh yeah, when I get that first 50 grand, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and invest and blah, 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 blah. A lot of us are looking for that. And sometimes we overlook the small sales because sometimes the small sales compound over time and then they become big sales. But if you're always looking for the big sale and the big commission and the one day this money is going to change my life, I'm sure you've heard that. Um, you'll overlook the small sales when people do buy your book on a regular basis, when people do buy your product on a regular basis, when people decide that, you know what? I really love what Allegra is doing. So you know what? She didn't ask me, but I'm going to tag her because she changed my life. People overlook that because it's not big. It's not in your face. It's like, oh my God, I made 30 grand today. I'm about to go on vacation. It's not that all the time. And people overlook that. What I'm seeing, like my observation, people overlook the small stuff because it's not big. It's not flashy. It's not glamorous. It's not that. It's, oh yeah, I made $50 today. Okay, well, that's $50 you didn't have. So I'm going to need you to celebrate. I'm gonna need you to celebrate that. I could go on and on. See, you done got me fired up. Lord have mercy.
Okay,
But
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
um, but I just really resonated with what you said about quality over quantity, and that was a mistake that I made because originally I thought that number one, every book that I put out was going to be a hit, and it's not. Not everybody likes your stuff, and that's okay. But there's a audience for everybody. But you won't know that if at the first sign of a no, you just say, oh, well, nobody wants my stuff, so I'm going to just quit. But no's are hard to deal with when you first start out. They're hard to deal with, but it's like muscle memory. Once you get used to no's, you're like, oh, okay, well, it didn't resonate with this person. Maybe it'll resonate with somebody else. I mean, but this is experience talking. I've been at it a while, so I've learned not to take the no's to heart. But originally, yeah, no's are not the best to deal with, but quality over quantity. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Um, what I will say too, sorry, I took my
Mhm.
mic out, y'all. What I will say about that is something came up for me because the small cell isn't small.
Mm,
I think sometimes we look at it like that because it doesn't have the big number that we would normally see someone else post. And that's just that comparison, right? It's like,
yeah.
and I think confidence is really what makes you make the sale.
Mm,
So if we start, and I love how you brought this up, because if we actually look at, because from the business development standpoint as a coach, the way that
yeah.
I guide my clients through it, because we usually do 90 days on average, it's because that first 30 days is just about building confidence.
Mm,
Because you're not going to always know. Actually, you're not going to know anything. You're not supposed to.
sure.
And so when we discuss things like the price of comparison, yeah, it's expensive because you can't compare yourself to no one else but you. And if
Right.
you actually do that and think about who you desire to be tomorrow, like if you just think about tomorrow, some people are like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, and they don't have no deadline, right? Like it's like, by when? Like, you just
Yes.
fancying up a dream, and like $1 million is real. It's just when I hit six figures, same way. I was like, I want to be a six-figure earner, and I got six figures, and I was like, that's six figures? Like, because I never counted the cost.
Yes.
So we have to really allow ourselves to experience everything the first time and be okay with not knowing. So
Mm,
if you go into making a sale, and this is where I feel like the pride comes up. This is where I feel like the self comes into play. Because when we
yeah.
start doing sales with our own business, we take it personally. Somebody tells us
Yes.
no, we like, oh, how dare you? We got the best. This is the best service you could get. Talking about you
Yeah.
talking to me, and I think we get very prideful. But the truth is that people, they can choose what they do with their money.
Sure.
And it is our job to show people how valuable it is to them, not to convince them. And that's where I think sometimes we get a little bit of the gray area, because we're not convincing people that it's good for them. We're showing them that it's good for them. Now,
Mm,
whether they're convinced or not, that's not up to us. Our messaging, that's what we fine tune. And then we get feedback from people who are interested. That way we
mhm.
know, like, okay, these are people that already have an interest. They're not just sticking around because they like me. They're not just looking to be nosy. They're not just, like, these are people I don't have to waste my time with. Those are people that you want to get feedback from about your products and services so you can grow through your sales process. Every
Yeah.
sale you make, are you getting feedback? If you made a sale for $1, did you
Mhm.
get feedback? Some people think that because the sale isn't, and this is just ping to your point, some people think that because the sale isn't a big sale, that they
Mhm.
don't have to work the same process as if it was. But you do.
Mm, yeah.
You do. And I think it resonates for people when, like you said, you get experience and you go, oh, right?
Yeah.
But just to kind of tune it down, because guys, I do have to get out of here. It's getting late, and I want to make sure I finish up the day. But I want to make sure that we get fully let's make sure we understand about this low energy. When you are trying to figure things out, like David is talking about in the beginning of your business, this is why people hire me. This is why
Mm,
people use me as a coach and as a mentor, because you're going to spend more time struggling to figure it out, and your low energy is going to consistently bring low sales. I can't tell y'all how many times I have worked with a client, and in the first days, they have made their six-figure goals already because they already started making their money that they need to every month to get there. So if
mm,
you know you need to make six figures, hey, that's probably $8,000 something a month. You need to start working towards that, right? I mean, that's not six figures, more like $1 million. But I'm sorry, I'm in a millionaire mindset. I can't get out of it. But if you're looking at if you're looking at what you need to do to get to six figures, and I think that is it. My numbers are a little bit off. But when you look at your numbers, that's the part a lot of times in business that people don't even want to put their energy into. So
Yes.
so the energy we put into the business side, right, comes into the okay, I gotta get the website, I gotta start the business this way, I gotta post on social media, all that stuff, guys. If you do that without even having an actual plan for your business, you are already setting yourself to have low energy. And when you get a coach like me that's like, where's your business plan? That's the only question I ask you before I move on with you. And you can't qualify with that. That tells you right then and there, you're not ready to start marketing your business, because how are you going to market something you don't understand? Being able to, and this is the last thing I'll say, because mission statements and all those great things, financial forecasting, all that's in the business plan. And most people don't want to sit down and do it because they're like, I don't know, I don't want to figure that all out right now. I just want to kind of wing through it. And so when they get to the point where they're just doing things and then it becomes low energy because they're like, I'm tired. Like, I've been posting on social media, I've been doing this and I ain't getting no sell. Well, because they don't understand your business just as much as you don't understand your business. They see the same thing you do. So if you can't confidently come to the forefront and say things like, yes, I have a business plan. If I can't ask you today, what's your mission? And you tell me exactly what your mission is without blinking, then you need to go back to the drawing board. And that's just my advice as a business coach, not a marketing strategist, because as a business coach, you can easily, like, I can tell you guys a lot of different things. But if you come to me as a marketing strategist, I'm going to take you right back to the business coaching side if you don't have a business plan, because we can't even move forward successfully without knowing what your business represents and what it says about you as a brand. Okay, so I'll end with that, and then any type of questions you guys have, I'll come on another live as well. But you guys can always join me in the masterclass. The link is in the bio, and I will answer any more questions there. It is in January, so we are resetting, we're refocusing, we're reducing all the stress that you guys are going to have with that holiday overwhelm, and we're going to get you back to business. Anything you want to share before we get out of here, David? I know we said a lot.
We said a lot in a short amount of time, but I'm used to it. We do it all the time. But it is okay to go back to basics. A lot of times, when we feel like we're on the road to mastery, however that may look, and we've been doing what we've been doing for a hot minute, and we can pretty much do it in our sleep, we feel like there's something wrong with going back to basics. And that's one of the things that I figured out, is that it is okay to just keep it simple sometimes. Like, people don't always understand the business jargon. It takes a lot of books. People don't always understand the business jargon, right? And I think that when describing your business or describing your product, there's nothing wrong with KISS. Keep it extremely simple or something like that. I don't want to say stupid on here, but I know what it is.
I say keep it simple, stupid.
Oh. See, keep it simple, stupid. Thank you. But I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. And I feel like sometimes when we've had some years under our belt, right, we feel like there's something wrong with saying that, and there isn't. And one of the things that I've also learned in the midst of it, right, is that if you know what you're talking about, then it's okay to know what you're talking about. Like, you don't necessarily have to be humble all the time about it. Like you said, like, you know business like the back of your hand. So when people ask you about it, it just oozes out of your pores because you've been doing it for so long. And I think that, it's okay to be in that realm of mastery. Like, yes, I know what I'm doing when it comes to business or books or products, whatever you happen to be doing. For those that are going to be listening, there's nothing wrong with patting yourself on the back, at least a little bit. I get, be humble. I get it. But don't be so humble to the point that you're making yourself small on purpose when you know that you have time in or skin in the game. Time in or skin in the game. So I'll leave it there, and I'll pass it back to you, Allegra. Or you might be stuck.
That was disrespectful. It just cut me out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was disrespectful too. Come on, TT. All right, go ahead. You were saying.
No. I was just saying, I was wrapping up my share, but what I said was that it is okay to pat yourself on the back a little bit sometimes. I get be humble. I get it, but don't be so humble to the point that you make yourself small on purpose. And I think that sometimes we get caught up in humbleness and we don't want to celebrate our accomplishments. We don't want to tell people that, yes, you have 10 years in, you have 15 years in, you have 20 years in. I think that sometimes we get so focused on being humble that we don't want to tell people that. And I get it, but I think you should. So that way people know when they talk to you that, one, this is not your first rodeo. Number two, you know what you're talking about. And number three, you should be the go-to person. If you know your business, if you know your product, if you know whatever it is that you happen to be pushing and promoting. So being humble is great, but don't be so humble that you're small all the time. And I think that that's where some of us go wrong. But I'm gonna leave it there. I know you got to wrap up, but I'll rest with that.
All right. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
That was great way to leave the live. You guys join me in a masterclass. Join me on the other side of all of my social medias. And also, if you guys have any needs when it comes down to like, I need a one-on-one, I need someone to guide me, don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. There's so many things that we have going on leading up until 2026. I have partners, and shout out real quick before I get out of here. Shout out to my partners. If you need anything done with your branding, business cards, flyers, marketing tools that are physical in any way, I have Miracle Moments as a partner. I actually have AJCO Business Coaching Group created from the beginning to be inclusive, not with employees and staff members all the time, but with people that can collaboratively be in the organization, also have their own businesses, and work with you guys in your business capacity. So that's a lot of reason why I get to do what I do without physically being in the actual business all the time. But shout out to Miracle Moments, because if you guys see her here, she is always supportive, helping me with the business. Also, shout out to Aljanae, who, if you guys see her pop into my lives, she actually does with a lot of she does barefoot budgeting, a lot of the things that we have to deal with in our businesses, such as the money part. I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to have an influx of businesses coming out in 2026. We already saw the applications. Okay. I already did my research. I saw y'all filing for y'all businesses for 2026, from now to, listen, we got a lot of people that have lost their jobs, a lot of people that are quitting this toxic work environment. And in 2026, there are going to be so many new businesses. So I want you guys to be guided so that when you start your business, whether it's now or in 2026, that you'll know where to go to get those resources. And it's not just a one-hit wonder. It's literally business development, marketing strategically, and funding resources, meaning that whatever area you need in your business, you're going to be able to get that at AJCEO. I want to thank David for joining me in the live today. He was absolutely amazing. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. You guys are always absolutely amazing. I'm curating the space for us to be able to come intentionally through the measures of quality, not quantity, because as I said before, we have amazing opportunities for you to grow, but marketing is not, creating the opportunity for everyone to get into the door. That's what's going to keep your energy low. When you start to change that and shift that and start talking to the people that are specifically geared to get what you have and you understand your business, that's when you're going to start making the sell. And we have so many examples of that I'll be sharing in the future, but make sure you stay tuned, follow the channel, and I'll see you guys on the